All right, ladies and gentlemen. Mr. Nealy's attorney is Charles Bach. Mr. Bach has an associate in his firm with Mr. Nealy here today. So that's who that is. All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear or affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God? All right, you're gonna have to make sure that you speak up. If you'll lower your hand and state your name for the record. All right, you can lower your hand. State.
Sorry, Judge, thank you. Mr. Nealy, do you also go by Ray?
I used to.
Yes, used to. Okay. But that's some people would know you by Ray. Is that correct? Okay. A lot of people have nicknames, but that was one of your nicknames. Is that correct?
Yes, sir.
Okay. You brought it here today, and I just want to give a little bit of background of yourself. Who is your wife?
Imunique.
I'm sorry, Imunique?
Yes.
And is that an individual that you know testified yesterday? Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you have children with her?
Correct.
All right. And do y'all in fact live at the apartments at East Meadows?
Yes.
And I'm going to show you what's been marked State Exhibit number 8. And in fact, do y'all live at these apartments here?
Yes.
And y'all live in this building right here?
Yeah.
Okay. And State Exhibit number 8 is now on the overhead. And you stated you live in this building here, is that correct?
Yeah.
You just have to answer out loud.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. And I'm going to take you back to that day that we've spoken about previously, March 31st, 2022. Do you recall that day?
What day?
March 31st,
Yeah.
2022.
Yeah.
Okay. I know you might be a little nervous, but I'm not trying to trick you. I'm just trying to ask those questions just so that we got the right date, okay?
Okay.
So March 31st, 2022, were you at your apartment or
Yeah.
around that area?
Yes, sir.
And did you at times go out to that pavilion that you see on that map there? Where have you been out there to that back parking lot?
Yes, sir.
Okay. And at some point, was there an altercation back there between Imunique, which is your wife, and who I call Edie? Are you aware of that?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
And tell me what generally happened.
It was just I heard commotion, and when I went out, the whole fight was breaking out or whatever, and then shortly after, you hear 2 shots, and then from that point you just see the defendant come around the car and just wave the gun at everybody. Hey, look at what you did to me. Look at what you made me do. Point the gun at everybody, and I didn't know what to do.
Okay. Well, that's a lot of information right now. I'm going to sort of break it down a little bit, okay?
Okay.
I'm going to show you what's been stated, marked State Exhibit number 9. And it's a video of security camera from your apartments. And you've seen this before, haven't you?
Yes.
Okay. And in fact, I've shown this video to you.
Yes.
And so I have it marked at 15:47:01. And I'm just one, can you identify anybody in this picture right now?
Juicy.
And can you just describe where Juicy is standing?
Right by the table, by the people.
I'm sorry. You guys just
All right, you're gonna have to speak up.
By the table.
by the table. And am I right in saying that Juicy's standing by sort of like in between the table and the barbecue pit?
Correct.
Right there?
Yeah.
Okay. And it looks like he has like a striped shirt on. Is that right?
Yes.
Okay. And you see a person standing over by the vehicle over here. Looks like their head is above the vehicle, standing by the back passenger door. Do you know who that is?
Yes, that's AB.
AB. And do you remember, is AB Avante Boyce?
Yes.
Okay. And you known him, right?
I know of them, but I don't really know.
Okay. Pause. Okay, it's paused at 15:47:03. You saw somebody else walk onto the video screen there, in between the car and say the bushes. Who is that individual?
That's Imunique.
I mean, and that's your wife.
Correct.
And then you see an individual that's dressed all in white, and it looks like it has some type of stripe down the sleeve. Who is that?
That's Vernon.
Vernon, and you know him as Vernon Dixon
Keno.
and Keno.
Yeah.
Okay. And you see an individual right behind him. Do you know who that is?
I believe it's Remisha.
Reminisha?
Yes.
And okay. And is that the sister to Imunique?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I paused it at 15:47:41. Looks like an individual sort of looks like jogging out. Who is that individual?
That's myself.
I'm sorry,
That's myself.
that's you.
Correct.
Okay. And as this is running, I'm going to sort of talk to you here and ask some questions if you don't mind. It seems like you're standing there. One, why did you run out there?
To make sure I heard a commotion, but just to make sure my wife was okay.
And then as you got out there, what did you do at this point?
Just stood right there and watching the whole commotion go back and
Judge, I'm
forth.
sorry, I'm having a hard time hearing.
All right, so if you cannot talk through that mask so everyone can hear, you're gonna have to remove it. Do you understand?
Yes, ma'am.
All right.
Just make sure you don't have to be right on top of it, but just speak up, okay? Because if everybody has to hear you out there, including the jury.
Okay.
So when you're out there, will you get involved in this
No,
altercation?
no, sir.
Do you put your hands on anybody?
No, sir.
Do you slap or hit anybody?
No, sir.
Do you see anybody? Let me ask you this. Keno, was he slapping or hitting anybody?
No, sir.
AB or Avante Boyce, was he slapping or hitting anybody?
No, sir.
The women, Imunique, your wife, was she hitting or slapping or touching anybody?
No, sir.
And what about Evie? Was she doing that?
No, sir. Not that I'm aware of.
Okay. But at that time when you're out there, what's it just, is it loud? Is there, or what is it?
It's just a bunch of commotion going on and everybody just shoving one another, but not hitting no cushion.
Okay, but people are touching each other, is that right?
Yes.
Okay. Right there, you saw the person in white that you identified as Keno. Did did he just get into the driver's seat of that vehicle?
Yes, sir.
You see right now somebody getting into that passenger seat. Who was that person getting into the passenger seat?
I believe AD.
And at this time, it's paused at 15:49:13. Where do you see Juicy at?
Right there under the pavilion.
It sort of, it'd be accurate to state that he's sort of next to the curb to the parking lot, is that correct?
Correct,
Okay, and towards the back of the car, is that right?
correct.
We're gonna go to the next video, which starts at 15:49:54. At this point right now, it's 15:49:53 actually. Can you tell me where you know Avante Boyce is at? Where is he at in this picture? You know, it might be easier if we play it for you. Go ahead and play. Where is Avante Boyce at this point?
He's by the trash can, right here by the pole.
I'm sorry, sir.
He's right here by the pole.
By the poll. Thank you, sir.
And is that the individual that you saw crawling on the ground, then sort of get up and is now moving on his feet?
Yes,
Okay. At this point, where are you at?
I'm under the pavilion, right here by my wife.
It looks like you're in between the picnic tables, is that right?
Yes,
Where are you at now?
I'm right here by my wife.
I'm sorry?
I'm right here by my wife and Keno,
And who's next to you?
my wife
Who else?
and Keno.
And is the Keno and all in white?
Yes,
And it looks like y'all are next to each other. What happens at that point?
at that point, he come around the car and says, "Look what you did to me," or look what you made me do," and kind of pointed the gun at all of us. And at that point, he pointed at me and told me, "Here."
And what do you mean here? What did he do at that point?
He handed me the gun.
And what did you take the gun?
Yes, sir.
Now, it looks like from the video, did you go to that red car on the passenger side?
Yes, sir.
And then you also went, it looks like at this point in the video right now, you're on the driver's side, is that right?
Yes, sir.
And it seems like from the video, it looks like you closed the door, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
And then you walk inside.
Yes, sir.
And at this time, you didn't have your jacket on, right?
No, I did not.
You actually, at that point, had taken your jacket off, but when you ran out there initially, you had your jacket on.
Yes.
At that time, you had the possession of the gun that Keno handed to you, is that correct?
Yes, sir.
What type, was it a revolver or a semi-automatic?
Believe, I just know it was silver.
What's that?
I just know it was silver.
Okay. What did you do with that gun?
I threw it away
And where'd you throw it?
in the ditch.
In the ditch?
Yes.
And when did you disclose that to police? Did you disclose that to the police?
No, nobody asked me.
When did you disclose that?
When I talked to you,
When you talked to me?
Yeah.
And when was that you actually talked to me and disclosed that? How many days?
believe
Well, let me ask you this.
Thursday.
I'm sorry?
Thursday, last Thursday.
Okay, Thursday? Okay. And I'm gonna ask you. Nealy. State exhibit number 15. Is that just I guess, a video picture or a photo of a still photo of the video?
Yes,
Okay. And you can identify people in there. This person in particular, who is that person right there walking towards that SUV? And Pearl, who is Pearl?
mhm,
And from the video, do you remember what did she do? Did she get into that SUV?
yes,
And then who else got in that SUV with Pearl? Thank you. And then I'm going to show you state exhibit number 16, 19, and 21. This person right here. Do you know that person?
yes,
And who is that person?
Juicy,
Juicy? And so Juicy was at the scene that day,
yes,
and was Juicy present during the shooting?
yes.
Thank you. We'll pass the witness.
All right, defense.
Yes, Your Honor. Yeah, let's go back to the first one. This way, Judge.
No problem.
Good afternoon, Mr. Nealy. How are you doing today? My name is Adam LaHood, defense attorney. I have some questions for you. If you don't understand one of my questions, or go too fast, just let me know. We can rephrase, slow down, or whatever, okay? Kind of start at the very end, or one of the last things that Mr. Garahan mentioned to you. Did you ever give a statement to the police?
No,
Were you ever questioned, interviewed by the police at any time?
no,
Were you aware that there was an investigation?
no,
You didn't know that there was an investigation ongoing?
no,
Did you know that somebody was shot and killed?
no,
You did not know?
No.
So let me ask you, did you see shooting of Avante Boyce?
no,
Do you know who shot Avante Boyce?
yes,
But you didn't see it?
correct.
Let's go back to the first video. That's it. Go ahead and hit like, we can go forward. All right, pause it. Your Honor, may I approach?
Yes.
Thank you, Judge. Sorry, normally we have something that we can have you paint on the photo, but I don't think it's working today. Just for clarification, we're looking at video at timestamp 15:47:05. And what is this a video of?
The back parking lot.
Is it of the pavilion?
Yes.
Okay. And to the right, you see two people. Do you see that?
Yes.
And I think you may have already answered, but we're just trying to get it clarified. Who are those two people you see on the right-hand side?
Kino and Renisha.
And how do you know it's them?
I guess I didn't know it's them. How it look like.
Just recognize them?
Yeah.
Okay, and I promise, I'm not trying to trick you or anything. May we go forward in the video? And let's pause. Real quick, when they're walking up right here, are you at the pavilion area at this time?
Oh,
No. If you know, is there a fight or scuffle ongoing at this time?
none that I know of.
Not that you know of. All right, may we continue forward? And we see a child over here to the right. Looks like a child. Do you know who that is?
Yes, that's Juju.
That's Juju?
Yes.
All right. We can pause. Actually, can we go back like just 2 seconds? The pillar's cutting it off. I know. Sorry, guys. All right. I want you to look underneath the pavilion. I believe you said in the foreground, closest to us, to the left of the picnic table, that is Juicy.
Yes,
And do you know Juicy's real name, or how do you know Juicy, I should say?
he been around the neighborhood.
Have you known him for several years?
Yes,
Okay, sir. Kind of pointing, best I can describe it, towards the back pillar from our perspective. Do you see a person that looks like they're dressed in all black that's standing?
yes.
Who is that? And would you point them out for us? You can use the marker or just kind of point it on the screen if you can.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I believe it's
Imunique?
Yes.
Okay, and that's your wife?
correct.
All right. And directly to the right of Imunique from our perspective, that's standing. Who is that?
You know,
And it looks like we have somebody sitting down there. Do we know who that is? Do you see who I'm referring to, sir?
yeah, right.
Yes, sir.
I believe,
Pearl?
yes.
Okay, thank you, sir. May we go forward? All right, pause. If you can tell, is this where the altercation starts or is going on among the people?
I'm not too sure if it is. I'm not too sure.
Not a problem, sir. And actually, if you don't know, we don't want you to guess. It's okay. May we continue forward? All right, stop.
Sorry about that.
No, you're, I know it's frustrating. Let's see. Go forward just a little bit more. All right, stop. You saw somebody run in from the right-hand side. Did you see that?
Yes,
And who was that, sir?
myself. It's me
That is you.
Correct.
Okay. Where were you before you ran over?
inside
Inside, when you said inside, was it somebody's apartment?
the house that me and my wife had.
You didn't have, what? Gotcha. Okay. So y'all live there, obviously.
Correct.
Okay. What made you go outside?
You heard a lot of commercial.
You heard the commotion?
Correct.
When you were safe, is it fair to say that you ran up on the scene? Or ran up to the car?
Not to the car, but under the pavilion just to see what was going on.
I understand. And the fight was over by this point?
No, it was still pushing.
It was still going?
Yeah,
All right.
still pushing.
Pushing. Gotcha. Yes, sir. May we continue? Just while the video is playing, do you see Avante Boyce in the picture yet or anywhere?
Yes, by the car.
Okay, Avante's by the car?
Yes.
Okay. All right, pause. Thank you. We see somebody coming up from the right-hand side of the screen. Do you know who this was?
No,
You don't know this person?
no.
Was he with, if you know, was he with the group that day or just, you don't have any idea who he may have been?
I just think he was coming to the building.
Just coming to the pavilion?
Yeah, to the building. Yeah.
Okay, may we continue? I can pause. You saw just there, we saw somebody come around the front of the car. Was that Keno? Do we rewind it for you?
Yes.
Maybe go back just about 4 or 5 seconds. and Hipley. You're gonna see somebody come around the car. There's a person in a black shirt. Do you know who that is?
Yes.
And who is that?
Imunique and
And Reminiscent. And the person behind him in the white, who was that?
Keno.
That was Keno? Okay.
Correct.
All right. And right now, people are still pushing?
Yes.
Okay. And we see Keno going back to the other side of the vehicle, is that correct?
Correct.
All right, we can pause. So at this point, it looks like we see about 4 or 5 bodies that are underneath the pavilion. Is that correct?
Correct.
Person we identified just a few moments ago came walking in from the right-hand side. Do you see him here underneath the pavilion at this time?
Yes.
Where is he at? If you can point it out for us.
Sitting on the table.
He's sitting on the table?
Correct.
Okay. We can continue, and I think we're probably gonna jump to the next video here in just a second. And we're on the next video now. Maybe pause it. So we're looking at timestamp 15:49:54. You see the same person that's off to the white, looks like he's wearing a white shirt
Correct.
and possibly multicolored pants.
Correct.
All right, and you don't know who this person is.
No.
If you know, does he live in the apartment complex, an acquaintance, or just a passerby or anything?
Not sure. He could have been passing by.
He could have been, but you don't know him though.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, sir. May we continue? Actually, we can pause again. I'm so sorry. Sir, if you can tell us, if you see yourself on this photo, where are you on this still? We're looking at 15:49:56 at this point. Do you know where, I didn't mean to cut you off, sir. If you can identify yourself, can you point out where you are on this still frame?
In the middle between the tables.
Would you mind pointing with the marker, please? Okay. And who does that directly to? It would be from our perspective to the left.
Correct.
That is Pearl. All right. May we continue? All right, go back. Well, actually, we'll state right here. We're looking at 15:50:05. You see a person over to the right-hand side of the screen?
Yeah.
And who was that?
Imunique.
Over on the right-hand side is Imunique.
Yeah.
To the far right, like over by the AC units. Go up. Do you see a person?
Right here.
Yes, sir.
Yes.
And who is that, sir?
AB.
AB. Okay. Thank you, sir. You said that you heard, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think you said you heard 2 pops or what sounded like gunshots.
Correct.
Okay. Did you physically see AB or Avante Boyce get shot?
No.
You said afterward though that somebody handed off a weapon to you, a gun,
Correct.
and Mr. Garahan asked you a few questions about this. We can go into that a little bit. First off, are you familiar with firearms? Somewhat. Okay. Do you know the difference between an automatic or semi-automatic and a revolver?
No.
No. Did you said you were handed a weapon. What did you do with it exactly after that?
I threw it away.
I'm sorry, sir. Say it again.
I threw it away
Threw it away.
Yeah.
Do you remember where you threw it away at?
in the ditch.
When you say in a ditch, was this on the premise or somewhere else?
A little bit on the premise, like it's maybe 2 minutes away.
You said it's about 2 minutes away.
Correct.
Okay. And when exactly did you get rid of this weapon?
The same, somebody handed it to me.
As soon as he handed it to you? What compelled you to throw away a weapon, sir?
it wasn't mine.
It wasn't yours? And you said at that time you didn't realize that there was an investigation or that somebody had been shot or possibly injured?
No,
Also, your testimony that you, prior to what I believe was a couple days ago, you never talked to the police or disclosed anything to the state about what had happened on this. Is that correct?
I did.
You did what? I'm sorry.
Me and the prosecutor talked about the weapon.
All right. Prior to that date, did you ever discuss this with anyone?
No,
So we're here now over a year and a half later, from March of 2022. We're sitting here in November of 2023. And you never gave a statement. You never talked to investigators, never anything. The first time anyone's heard that this person, somebody may have handed off a weapon to you was just a few days ago. Is that correct?
no,
No. Which part of that is incorrect, sir?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure.
So let's just say within the last 2 weeks, so we're not confused on exact dates. Prior to the last 14 days, and I think that's a pretty wide margin, did you ever tell anyone that Vernon Dixon handed you a weapon to get rid of?
No,
You never told anyone?
No.
What would compel you to say something like that at this point?
Excuse me. I'm sorry. He's gonna have to answer the question unless there's some other issue.
No.
All right, you need to answer the question.
Can you take the question again?
Yes, sir. Well, let me put it in a broader context, sir. We're here over a year and a half later. And the first time that anyone's heard any mention that somebody may have handed off a weapon was sometime within the last 2 weeks. It appears it may have been within the last few days. What compelled you to say something at that point, but you never said anything before then?
Truth.
Truth. Do you think it's a bit suspicious that somebody goes a year and a half and doesn't say anything with a alleged murder that occurred?
Not sure.
You don't know?
Not sure.
Just a moment, sir. And sir, like I said, I just want to make sure, you said you heard 2 shots, but you did not actually see a shooting occur, correct?
Correct.
Just 1 second, sir. Your Honor, we'll pass this witness.
State,
No further questions.
is this witness excused or subject for recall?
Excused by the state, Your Honor.
Judge, let's keep him for recall.
All right, the rule has been invoked. What that means is you can't discuss your testimony with anyone except for attorneys for the state or the defense, and of course, your attorney. Just make sure you're available in case either side wishes to recall you again. You understand? All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to take a brief break now. Believe it or not, I have other cases from the morning that I need to make sure I take care of. So I'm going to give you, I'll say till 3:30. Remember my instructions. You're not to start deliberating. You're not to view anything. Everything that you need to know about this case is to come from inside the courtroom and no investigations. All right, everyone, please rise.